Welcome to Class 4. Alright, so today we're just going to cover a little bit of an intro to jQuery, and I'm going to show you some intermediate JavaScript examples, and then you're just going to do the assignment. This will actually be a bit lighter than the previous week, because obviously the previous week was sort of heavy. Alright, so jQuery, I kind of talked about it last time, but basically it's sort of a library of JavaScript that more or less allows you to kind of abbreviate the code that you would write into kind of smaller and simpler lines. It has some like pre-built things into it. It's sort of like using Bootstrap, and you'll actually, when you download Bootstrap, one of the files you download is actually jQuery. So, or even if you were to use a CDN, Content Delivery Network, that would also be connected to it. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, that's jQuery. So there's two ways you can attach it. You can host it yourself. So what you can do is you can download it and then put it into the CSS folder of your JavaScript folder. Or not a CSS folder. So you put it in the JavaScript folder and then put the jQuery in there. So you can download it here. So you click there, and then you can download in there. And then you would just put it, and you would link it in the head like this. So script, source, JavaScript folder, and then the actual folder or the file name, so on and so forth. And that's how you would link it. You can also, which is probably the more suggested choice, is just to go ahead and connect it to your site. Basically what it means is that you don't download it and you don't host it. You don't upload it with your files. You simply link it to the site that has it. So in this case, Google does it, and I think Microsoft might do it as well. I just gave you the Google one. So you literally would just stick this into your head and you'd be connected, and that's all there would be to it. All right, so those are the two ways of doing it. Now the syntax, this is the reason why it's a little bit easier than the typical JavaScript stuff, because it takes the stuff you would do in JavaScript and just makes it quicker. Because a lot of what we're doing when you do JavaScript, you might have noticed, is you got to like select something, you got to put it into something, and then you can run something. This kind of puts it all in one line of code, and that's the reason why it's a little bit easier. So what you're always going to see is first it's going to have this little money symbol that lets you know that it's jQuery. So if later on you're working and you see this in somebody's site or something, they're using jQuery. That's basically what that means. Then you have a selector, and basically that is what the code that you're going to write is going to attach to. So this is how you're going to select. So like, let's say I have a button and I want to do something to that button. That's what goes in here, okay? So it would be like quotes, button, and then the actual thing you want that to happen, which is, then you'll do, so it's money symbol, parentheses, whatever select is. Let's say it's a P element, so I'll just put P in here, quotes P, and then I'd do dot, and then it would be the action. So I would say dot, let's say click, right? So when you click on it, instead of action here, and then inside of here, inside the parentheses, I would put a function, and that's when I clicked on it, it would run that function. That's basically how it works. Now you'll notice that whenever we write JavaScript, whenever we write jQuery, we always put this stuff that I just showed you inside of something that says money symbol document.ready function this. Basically what it says is first it has to say that it's jQuery, then it says on the document object, right? So that would be this whole website, right? Your web page. It says when it's ready. It means once everything is loaded. Because what you don't want to do is you want to select something before the web page is even uploaded. So let's say I did the P element and none of the P elements are loaded. This isn't going to work. So what it does is it says once everything's ready, run function, which you just write function. And then basically anything that's in here will not run until the document's fully uploaded. That's the idea here. Okay, so you should put that in every time. I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't. But now what I did here is kind of like the JavaScript examples. I just put some quick little jQuery examples. So this is the code. If you click on this, you'll see this is what it looks like. So I click on this, it hides it. Click on it, it shows it. Okay, and so there's one for each one of these, and these are basically what you see. Now, if you want to actually read the code, you could just right-click and you just do save link as. Save it as the HTML, and then you can open it up in Dreamweaver or Visual Studio Code or whatever, and so on and so forth. And then, okay. Now, if you don't like any of these, you can also just click visit the jQuery site here, or go to W3 Schools. They also have a nice section. Honestly, that's kind of where I got these. on how to use jQuery. So it can do some other things, but just to quickly, get the idea, there you go. Now the next thing is going to be the intermediate JavaScript examples. I'm going to do like I did before, but I'm just going to do 2 separate videos for that. What I want to do right now is actually just do one of these, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a slide example so you get an idea of how that works. So let's do File, New File, and let's get rid of this welcome. And I'm just going to go ahead and save this real quick. Control-Shift-S, and we'll just save this as slide example 01.html. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the typical stuff that we always do. Doc type. Oops, forgot the exclamation point. Exclamation point. Doc type HTML. Right, and then oops, HTML. Okay, and then we have to have a head. Oops. Head. And then we also need a body. Got a little weird there. Okay. Head and body. Alright, then inside the head, I'm just going to put a quick title. I'll say slide example. And, yeah, that's probably good enough. Oh, so the other thing I need to do, so I want to use jQuery, I have to link it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So script, src, and this one is https, boom, / ajax.googleapis.com /ajax/libs jQuery.min.js. Occasionally you might see something where it says instead of just .js, it'll say .min.js. Basically, you can download 2 files. One, and this goes for Bootstrap, this goes for jQuery. There's one that'll just be jQuery.js, and what that is the full. You can read it. It looks like we would write here. Nothing very straightforward. But when they put .min, what it means it's minified, and what that is that it doesn't have any spaces. Things aren't tabbed in. It's just one long strand of just code. A lot of the things are abbreviated. Now, the reason why you'd want to use that is 2 reasons. You can minify your own stuff, because what that'll do is it'll make it harder for someone to steal your stuff if it's minified, because then when you look, they can't decipher what you wrote because it's all weird. They even make programs that will run your code and minify it for you. But the other reason is, and the reason why we're doing it here, because obviously they will give us the source code, is that it just runs faster, because it doesn't have all this other extra stuff that it has to run through, and that's the reason why. So anyways, so .min, and then we're just going to end that script, and good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my HTML elements that I want to do stuff. So we're going to do a button that we're going to click on, button, and we're going to give it an ID, and we're going to call it slide btn for button, and I'm just going to call it slide in/out. Great. So that'll be my button. And then I'm going to make a div that's going to have an ID, and this is going to be our slide panel. So slide panel, and I'm just going to go ahead and give it we'll give it we'll leave that alone. Slide panel, and that'll be my div. And then so basically everything that's inside of this slide panel is what I'm going to slide in and out. And then I just need to put some content in here. So we'll do an H2. Look at this cool slide panel. Then let's do a P. Just press the slide button above and watch me go. Great. Okay. So this is basically what's going to slide. So now I just got to write the jQuery, and this is going to be a little bit easier to work with. So we're just going to go ahead and do script. Oops, script. Okay, so just like we do JavaScript inside a script, you just do jQuery right inside the script. So first thing we got to do is we got to do that thing that we do every time, is we have to say when the document is loaded. So document, and we're going to say .ready. So when the document is ready, run this function. Okay. Like that. Okay. So basically, you might have noticed that it says ready, and then it's everything that's inside of here. So you see how it actually ends with a, I gotta put a semicolon there. Oops, a semicolon there. It actually ends with this parentheses on it, because that's actually inside of this, believe it or not. Anyway, okay. So now what I wanted to do is this. I'm going to say, okay, I want you to look for the slide button. All right, so we're going to say, just like we do selectors in CSS, so it's going to be slide btn. Notice I put the little hashtag because this is an ID. If it was a class, it would be a dot slide button, but I only have one. So we're going to say click. So basically when you click on it, there's also, I think, like hover, focus. There's other ones that you can do. Click obviously means when you click on it. So when it clicks on it, it's going to run this function. Okay, so 2 parentheses for the parameters. We're not giving it anything. And then we're going to do kind of the same thing. Oops, Control C. I meant to do this. There we go. Okay. So basically what we're doing is we're adding an event listener here in a way. So because we said dot click, run the function. So basically what's inside of here is what's going to be run. And I also forgot my semicolon. There we go. So what I wanted to do is select the boom. Oh, forgot the quotes. Boom slide panel. So on the slide panel, we're going to tell it to slide toggle. Okay. And this is the speed of it. So let's say, let's do 1000. Okay. All right. So again, what we did is say, okay, when the document's ready. So in here, the event that it's listening for is ready, which means when it's loaded, it's going to run this function. Okay. Then, okay, it's like, okay, that'll fall through. And when that happens, then it's going to do this. It's going to look for the slide button, right? And it's going to say attach a click onto it. So when you click, it's going to run this function. And then inside of here, what it does is it says, okay, grab the slide panel, which is right here, and then do the slide toggle, and then do it over 1000. Okay, and there's different ones. So like if you look at this here, I'm doing this one. There's fade, so dot fade toggle. There's fade in and fade out as well. I think fade something. So you can do those ones just like we have hide and show, as opposed to toggle, which does both. These are 2 separate buttons. So this slide will both go in and out. All right, so boom, boom, boom. All right, so it's going to do that. And so that's why there's just different functions that are already built into them. And there's more than this. You can look them up if you'd like and see what possibilities are. But you can see how this is much more succinct than when we did the accordion. This is a lot quicker. And that's basically what it's going to create. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Control S. And I'm going to go to my desktop. Where are you? There, no. Is that it? This is not it, but this is what we'll do. So you click on the slide in, and it slides in, slides out. Slide to the left. Crisscross. All right. And I just made 1 button, but this one's the toggle version. Okay. And that is basically it. So just follow that, and you should be good to go. That's how jQuery works. So I'm not expecting you to use it in this next thing here. I mean, you can try if you would like, but I just want you to be aware of it, and so you can see it, because in the future we might utilize it in some way. All right. Okay.